speaking of The Mandalorian, which is opening up this week, I'm going to go see it on Thursday. Watch for my out of the theater review from Las Vegas. I'll be doing that one from there. We got the initial reactions came out. They were mostly positive, but certainly a number of mixed ones as well. But pretty much right along the upper end of where I was kind of expecting them to be. And then look, I said this before, if Mandalorian can just deliver what Solo delivered, give me a fun space adventure film. And the first 17 minutes they showed us at CinemaCon certainly looked like a fun space adventure film. You deliver that to me, I'll be happy. Just give me that, hopeful. But apparently, one of the things you can automatically scratch off your bingo card is, who knows, maybe they kill Baby Yoda. Maybe Grogu dies. I mean, after all, we get into Star Wars stories much later in the timeline, and there's no Grogu to be seen. And a lot of people think, well, then that means at some point there's going to be a tragedy. Well, it was never a high chance that would happen in Mandalorian, but it was a chance. Not anymore. Because John Favreau, according to this report here in Geek Tyrant, has come out and said there are big plans for Grogu in the future because he's on his path to become both a Jedi and a Mandalorian. He said this: creatively, says John Favreau, who I adore, I have a lot of plans and I have a lot of thoughts about these characters, especially for Grogu. Grogu is a character that his species lives for centuries. He's on a path to be both a Jedi and a Mandalorian. He's making certain choices and decisions. He has a great teacher now. And so he develops and grows. There's opportunities for stories that would emanate from that. That's a pretty awesome direction for the character because Grogu already exists in a fascinating space within Star Wars lore. He's not fully tied to the Jedi way, but he also isn't walking away from the Force. I don't know if it's a great idea, marketing-wise, to just instantly reveal, by the way, this main character survives to the end. I mean, if it was a James Bond movie, no big deal. Everybody expects James Bond to make it to the end. But at some point, Grogu has to unsubscribe from life or go into hiding like Yoda or whatever, because you have to explain somehow this incredibly powerful Jedi presence that Luke Skywalker could sense from across the galaxy, who is nowhere to be seen, heard from, mentioned by anybody later on. So something has to come up. But apparently John Favreau has plans for that. Rob, we've seen some reports suggesting that Star Wars, starting with Starfighter, is going to start doing new stuff, going in new directions, moving the story forward, stop doing these period piece films with characters we all already know and see. Is there a world where they could do that while also do what John Favreau is suggesting, continuing stories with Grogu? Can you do both? Do you just hopscotch Grogu into a further timeline? Show him as teenage Groot, like teenage Grogu? I mean, I don't know. How do you think they should approach that?
That's a tough question, John. I mean, to answer your initial question, yes, they can do whatever they want, really. And from, I've watched a lot of responses to what people think of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Like Harloff was not a big fan of it, for instance. And to me, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Sort of an episodic adventure. You're skipping around and there's like it's almost like 4 episodes put together.
I got to introduce you for a second because I got to put this to bed. One of our live chat people, Matthew Glandy in the live chat, is saying word on the street is that they're looking to reboot and erase the sequel trilogy. Guys, can you please stop spreading that bullshit? Just stop it. There is zero truth to that. None. Absolutely no truth. None. There are all these whispers and rumors years ago that they're going to get rid of the prequels. And I told everybody then, and I'll tell you now, they're not taking anything out of canon. Stop this nonsense. Stop spreading this fake bullshit. It's absolutely not true. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, but they are absolutely not. So please, whenever you see this nonsense, Brian, just let people know that's not happening. Whether it should or shouldn't is a different discussion, but it's not. So let's just end that. Anyway, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. Sorry, Rob, please continue.
No, not at all. I mean, I think the thing with Grogu is, unfortunately, like, if Favreau says he has plans for the character and that he's going to be both a Force user and a Mandalorian, I think that's interesting. But I just think that, like, look, Yoda was teaching Jedi for 900 years, and Grogu's essentially a child, and maybe he'll be a child for another 50 years. The problem with Grogu is he's just not that interesting. And they haven't really done anything with him other than the fact that he's like a cute sidekick.
He's adorable, Rob. That's his superpower.
I mean,
adorable.
but I'm like, maybe they'll take it someplace where there's a character to watch being developed. But I just think that the problem with Grogu is that it was great to see the beginning of his life, but I would much rather see it flash forward 100 years or 200 years, 300 years. Yeah. And then you see him in the middle of his life where he's at the height of his powers doing, but the problem with that is we already have Yoda. There's nowhere for this character to go. Now you could say, oh, he's going to be a Force user and he's going to be a Mandalorian. I mean, that's kind of interesting, but what you're going to wind up with is a character we already know.
Why? Just because he's the same species? James Bond and
I know, but
Joe Dirt are both human beings.
But if Yoda was going to be like an entertainer, if Grogu was going to decide he wanted to be a lounge singer,
Ooh.
or play in a bar band like the Modal Nodes, I would be like, okay, that would be more interesting. But it's like, so is he going to be offering wise pearls like Yoda, but at the same time wear Mandalorian armor? I mean, think about what he would look like in full Mandalorian armor.
It's a cool thought.
It also is goofy. I mean, wearing that helmet with the ears sticking out, it's just.
Oh, I didn't think the ears. Now I think I like it more.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I just think that the funny thing about both the Mandalorian and Yoda, and Grogu, are derivations on 2 previously existing Star Wars characters, Boba Fett and Yoda. And Boba Fett and Yoda, until they ruined Boba Fett, I think Boba Fett and Yoda were better iterations of these characters, even though we've seen more of them. So we'll see how the movie does. Maybe if people are clamoring for Yoda and for Grogu and the Mandalorian to come back, great. But even what we watched, I want to see them get involved in something. I want to see the Mandalorian involved in something that's more weighty. It's always been so light and breezy with the 2 of them. And I never believe that they're in actual peril. They're always going to get out, no matter, you look at the Mandalorian, that giant white snout snake water monster that you see in the trailer. I'm like, it's not like that thing has a chance against the Mandalorian. Even if it swallowed him whole, you'd see him cut his way out.
Can't you say the same thing about a James Bond film? Or say
but James Bond's got an edge. He's a badass. I mean, the Mandalorian is a badass that's carrying around Grogu. And it's like, it's fine. I just want gravitas. The Empire Strikes Back had real gravitas. Star Wars had gravitas. Yeah, it was a space fantasy, but you were involved, man. It was like, what's going to happen? And when the rebels get routed on Hoth, you feel it. You're like, this should not be happening. but this is messed up.
Yeah, but I don't think the totality of Star Wars needs to be that. I
No,
think
it
Star
does-
Wars should be a lot of different kinds of
I
stories.
agree, but I want to feel like there's real peril
In order to move
involved.
forward with them, you mean?
Yeah, I want to feel like there's a weight to the story that's being told. I just watched The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's fun, but I don't feel any of it matters.
And I do. That's, you bring that up. It's like, even that latest trailer, they had Sigourney Weaver talking about, well, these are the people who are building up, a force that's, we're trying to stop a war here. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a bridge between this and A Force Awakens. And then I haven't seen it, but from what I'm gathering from people who have seen it, it's like, no, it's not. It's just like a filler episode.
Well, and we also know that they fail because the First Order, the
Well, yeah.
Imperial Remnant, whatever, they found the First Order, they come back, somehow Palpatine returns. And so the New Republic doesn't do very well.
Again, none of that means anything to me because, like, again, you go in watch Titanic, the boat sinks. You go like all that kind of stuff.
But
If
every
you
time
can
I think
still
it might
tell,
not.
like with Rogue One, we know what happens. They do get the Death Star plans to the rebels. The question is, can you tell a good, compelling, fun story in the confines that you have? Mandalorian did that and did it really well in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
They did not do it so well in the third. And to me, look, I don't need, I didn't need Skeleton Crew. I didn't need Skeleton Crew to be Andor. And
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
need,
saying that.
Yeah, and I don't need Mandalorian and Grogu to be Empire Strikes Back. Am I annoyed that their first return to the big screen in 7 years is just the continuation of a TV show? Yes, that annoys me. At the same time, if you can successfully deliver 2 hours of entertainment like the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian and Grogu did, what happens later is irrelevant. Do you make a good movie or not? And that's the jury's out on that.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
see.
but,
That's the only
that's the
thing
whole
I'm
thing.
worried
I mean,
about.
you know what I would say? I would say, like, the way if you were to ask me what I wanted from a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I wouldn't have said Star Wars. I would, because it's already in the Star Wars universe. I would have said what I want from this movie is something more along the lines of Raiders of the Lost Ark. That they have,
I can get on board with that.
a quest movie where that movie it's got adventure the way we hadn't seen it before. There's real stakes, and that if the Nazis got a hold of the Ark and had it before them, it could have the world could have ended. But it was still a romp. It was an action adventure story. And that's what I want. That's what I mean when I say I want to see something, weighty, but not the weight of the world with Empire Strikes Back, but something that there's real stakes where you're really breathless. I mean, I'm sure I'm never going to feel that the Grogu and the Mandalorian are in any peril in this movie at all. They're going to win. Because they have to win.
I think there's a lot of film franchises you can say that. And television shows, you can say that, right?
That's
you
true.
watch week after week, but
This
you know
guy's
what? Not going to die.
When you see a Bond movie, and he's on a table with Goldfinger and there's a laser about to
No,
go up
Mr.
his
Bond,
crotch,
I expect you to
you
die.
actually, for a minute there, you're like, how's he going to get out of that?
Well, then the key to that, and like television shows, whatever, is you build a sense of stakes around the characters.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're going to be able to successfully do that, we'll find out on Thursday. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Director John Favreau says they've got big plans for Grogu, but is that a character you can have big plans for? I mean, he certainly has sold the most toy product of anything Star Wars related in the last 20 years. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.